You might want to listen carefully if you want to know what time you'll be heading down to the gym, as I know some of you are here mostly for that. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. Before I continue, I want you guys to take a look around and see the amount of people that are here. I would say not very much. And I'll tell you how we advertised and some of the things that we've done to invite young people to the masjid. One, the standard procedures, such as creating flyers, Facebook posts, and etc. But more importantly, I myself personally invited a lot of young folks. I would say at least 70, 100 plus. Now, the young people that are not here, I don't think I'm necessarily blaming them for not being here. Here's why. I understand why they feel like they should be anywhere else but here. I honestly understand why. And here's why. We live in a very, very dangerous times, as most of you would agree, where most of you are going to either colleges, high school, middle school. Some of you are working, you have a part-time job, and you're exposed to a lot of things. A lot of the fitna that you see on social media, all the funny memes that are appropriate, not appropriate, that's not what we're here to discuss. But my point is, we live in a very, very tough times. And that translates to certain turnouts like today for young people. When you're exposed to so many different things that take you away from Islam, it just makes sense that young people are slowly but surely getting detached from masajids. And here's the reason why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this so that you can take the initiative, so that you can take charge and make a difference. And this is what today's event is about. It is in your hands, not in the hands of our Imam, Sheikh Bashir, not the board members, not your father, not your mom, or not the guy who stays after, cleans the masjid, and spends most of his time at the masjid. It is in your hands. Whether you're 7 or 40, 50, 55, the will to change or bring change to the masjid, it is in your hands. Again, do not expect Sheikh Bashir, Abdul Aziz, Shamsuddin, and etc. Do not expect these guys to bring you to the masjid. That should be your responsibility as young folks. You have more power to bring non-believers to the masjid than they will ever have. You're more connected. You know a lot more people that need this deen than they will ever know. And as the day continues and we have our activities and lectures and etc., I want you to think about one thing. How can I be a part of this masjid in a way that I can make a small difference? And I'll give you an example. If you're someone that's studying, say, software engineering, for example, maybe you can come back here and teach a little course to young kids that might be interested in that. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to wear a huge qamis and a kufi and teach them the deen. Come be involved. This is your community. It doesn't belong to the guys that are over here speaking to you every single day. This is your community. It's your masjid. And you are needed more than all of them. It's the young people that have impacted the world for centuries before. It's the young people that started revolutions. It's the young people that established every principle of Islam to this day. It's not the elderlies. It's young people like myself and like yourself. Now, I'm going to quickly go over what our schedule is going to look like. And please stay as quiet as possible, and we'll have our discussions. And none of our lectures are going to be longer than 15 to 20 minutes, because we understand the modern styles of whatever you want to call it. Our people's attention span is very short nowadays. So all of our lectures and talks and discussions will be 15 minutes to 20 minutes max. Yes. Sheikh Khalifa just wants everyone to come together. So if people back there can come a little bit closer to the center, that would be nice. That whole young, just move that way a little bit. Yeah. So our activities, our lectures will be very short. And without further ado, I just want to quickly go down and tell you who's doing what and what we will be having. Sheikh Ilyas from Medina will be giving a short lecture on the virtues of Ramadan. Right after that, we'll have an icebreaker, some sort of activity for you guys to get to know each other. And we'll have Ustad Abdulaziz and one other Qari to recite the Quran for us. And shortly after that, we'll have Sheikh Abdullah, also from Medina University. And right afterwards, we'll have the guys will have food. So we have pizza and sandwiches available. While the guys are eating, and we'll have some activities for you while you're eating also. So make sure you're constantly paying attention so we can make this event very, very sufficient, inshallah. Once the guys are done eating, I think the girls will have approximately 40-45 minutes in the gym, and we'll make a smooth transition so the guys can go to the gym and the sisters can come back to the musalla, inshallah. That will be it. Again, thank you so much for coming, and we know your time is valued. There are so many things you could be doing out there. Jazakallahu khair. We're having some surveys being passed around. Please just save it, and we'll have some writing utensils passed around also. Just jot down some of the brief things you're taking away from here and give us some feedback. Not necessarily now, because we just started the event. And we'll take that back from you before you leave. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All right, inshallah, the next person that we have here is one of our guests, local Sheikh. His name is Ilyas Abdul Malik Ali. He was a student of the urban teacher program before receiving a scholarship at the University of Medina in Saudi. He's here next to me, inshallah. He completed an intensive Arabic program, 2.5 years at the University of Minnesota in the Arabic language program. And then he received his bachelor's degree from the College of Da'wah and Usuluddin, where he majored in Aqidah, which is Islamic theology, and Islamic education and Islamic history. He is currently a graduate of Augsburg and the Masters of Education program. He also works with Building Blocks of Islam, which is one of our local programs here that are serving the Muslim and non-Muslim communities, and is also a program manager in the area of social service and da'wah and youth enrichment. And he is currently giving da'wah, giving khutbah, and also teaching some classes at the Tawfiq Islamic Center in North Minneapolis, which is where is the old Masjid. I won't take up too much of his time, inshallah. Here is brother Sheikh Ilyas Ali. فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله all praise and all thanks is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره. We praise him, we thank him, praise and thanks that is rooted in love and adoration. We beg his guidance and his forgiveness. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. And we seek refuge and protection with him from the evil, or for the evils of our own souls, our egos, and from the evil consequences of our bad and negative actions. من يهده الله فلا مضل له. And whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to guide, there are none who can lead him astray. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. And whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to lead astray, no matter what you do, there's nobody who can guide him. وَأَشْهَدُ أَنْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ. And I testify in front of all of you that there is no God who is truly worthy of worship except Allah, him and him alone, and he has no partners. وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا عَبْدُهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And I further testify that Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, is his servant and final messenger. أرسله الله بين يدي الساعة مبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. He was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before the coming of the last hour, yani the day of judgment, as someone to give glad tidings and to be a warner. To give glad tidings, to be a warner, and to be a caller to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده. And no doubt he fulfilled his trust. He advised his community and his nation and his ummah, and he strived and struggled his utmost in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he did this purely and only for the sake of Allah, no other agenda. فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنتهم إلى يوم الدين. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send his peace and blessings on him, upon his pure family, his good companions, and all of those who would attempt to follow in their footsteps until the day of judgment. as to what follows. So firstly, I want to thank Tawfiq Islamic Center and all of those who help to maintain this masjid, who run this masjid, because after the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the virtue of Allah, I didn't buy this masjid. It was through a communal effort, but there's somebody who has to lead that effort. And alhamdulillah, they opened their doors today for this event to happen. So we thank them for that. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال لا يشكر الله من لا يشكر الناس. Someone who doesn't thank the people, in reality, he doesn't thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we also want to thank those young brothers who helped. Sheikh Walid, who said he wasn't going to give a lecture, but Jazakallah khair for his words, for his invitation to all the brothers and sisters, for the brothers who went out and put up the flyers, for the brother or sister who made the flyers, those who helped to set this up. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you and give you the highest places in paradise. Allahumma ameen. Ya Jama'ah, say ameen. Nah. Alhamdulillah. And so before I begin my talk, which was supposed to be about Ramadan, I thought it'd be appropriate to mention a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to get our minds in the right frame of mind. يقول أبو هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala an, one of the closest companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the most prominent and knowledgeable companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, especially in regards to hadith. He said that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and by the way, every time you hear me say Prophet Muhammad, everybody in here should say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every single time. So Abu Hurairah, he said that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there isn't a group of people that come together in the house or one of the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reciting the book of Allah, and not only that, but studying it between them, teaching one another. That doesn't happen except إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ, except that tranquility descends upon that group of people. Tranquility descends upon those people. وَغَشِيَتَهُمُ الرَّحْمَةُ, and not only that, they're enshrouded and engulfed in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَحَفَّتْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, and as if that wasn't enough, it was already that Allah gave them tranquility, and already He engulfs them and enshrouds them in His mercy. On top of all of that, they are surrounded by angels. And as if that wasn't enough generosity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and enough kindness and love from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He increases even more and says, وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِنْدَهُ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions those individuals, those people, that group, He mentions them with Allah in the gathering, meaning with the angels. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions them. So do you know what that means, brothers and sisters? Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, we hope that right now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning us by name to the angel Jibreel alayhi salam, to the angel Mikael, wa Israfil, and the other angels that are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is mentioning bi-idhnillahi ta'ala all of us right now to them. Narju dhalik, we hope that. Somebody might say, but we're not reading the Quran right now. Ma fi mushkila. Also, Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, and Abi Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu ta'ala anhu, شهد على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال لا يقعد قوم يذكرون الله، ما قال يتلون كتاب الله، قال يذكرون الله عز وجل إلا حفتهم الملائكة ونزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. So now Abu Hurairah and Abi Sa'id al-Khudri, they bore witness that they heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam say that there isn't a group of people that sit down. What's everybody doing right now? What's everybody doing? Sitting down. There isn't a group of people that sit down for the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we're not reading Quran right now. The remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there isn't a group of people who do that except that the angels descend upon them, surround them, and mercy is engulfing them, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and tranquility descends upon them. And this one thing is more than enough. Wallahi, this one thing is more than enough, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning you by name with the angels. Wallahi, that would be more than enough. If that one thing, that would be more than enough. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He make this of those gatherings. Allahumma ameen. So now, we're supposed to be talking about Ramadan. But I want to ask first, what does Ramadan mean to you, brothers? What does Ramadan mean to you? Naam, Sheikh. What does Ramadan mean? What's that? Remembering Allah? MashaAllah. Huh. So he's the only person that Ramadan has any meaning to him? Nobody else, Ramadan is just another word, huh? How about you, Sheikh? That's what Ramadan means? Taraweeh? Okay, alhamdulillah. Now, how about you? The one who's wondering if I'm really calling on him. Yes, I'm calling on, yep. Huh? Fasting? MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Sisters, what does Ramadan mean to you? Naam? Rahmah, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Naam. Huh? What was that? Can somebody say, what did she say? Forgiveness. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Happiness. Naam. If you do Ramadan right, inshallah you will have happiness. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, for the slave, farhatan, they get two happinesses. When they break their fast, right? Alhamdulillah, that's true. Naam, it will be happiness if you do Ramadan right. Now, last one. The month when shayateen are locked up. Naam. This is Ramadan. These are all pieces and parcels and bits of Ramadan. I'm going to share with you a portion of an ayah, and every last one of you should read, starting from ayah, where's the Hufaz? But is it 182 or 183 to 187 from Surah Al-Baqarah? This is homework, Sheikh. Homework for all of you. Read these ayat. They are the most comprehensive ayat regarding fasting, the month of Ramadan. I'll just share a quick portion of these, of 187, wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ ثُمَّ أَتِمَّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ So in this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, go ahead and eat, washrabu, and drink, until the dawn or just before the sunrise, yani when Fajr comes in, right? But then after that, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ, from that time until the night, go ahead and fast. ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. So fasting for most of us, all of us, or not most of us, but all of us know, fasting means no drinking. Right? No drinking water, juice, coffee, Coke, Sprite, even though any other time those things are halal. No eating, no drinking and no eating. And there's a third thing, no physical intimacy. For any of you who are married, no physical intimacy or intercourse with your spouse during that time, yani from the Fajr time until Maghrib. That's what most of us think about when we think of Ramadan. And alhamdulillah, the young lady, she said happiness, inshallah. Somebody said forgiveness and so on. But usually this is the first thing that comes to our mind. Those are the physical requirements. Because the word as-sawm, it means to abstain from something. So for example, if I don't talk, and I abstain from talking and I don't talk, let's say for the whole day, that would be sawm. Because I've abstained and I'm not doing that thing. Does that make sense? That's what the word sawm in the Arabic language means. It's to not do something or to stay away from something. So now a sawm, no eating, no drinking, and no physical intimacy. But these are the physical requirements. These are the physical requirements. There are a few considerations that I want to share with you, brothers and sisters, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, today. In 5 minutes. Is that a hard 5 minutes, Waleed? Sheikh, where did Sheikh Waleed go? Is that a hard 5 minutes? It's a hard. And then stop? Alhamdulillah. So when you kick me out, I will go then. Then I'll stop. Tayyib. So anyways, 3 things. Number 1, that some questions that you should be asking yourself. Some questions that you should be asking yourself. Whether you're an adult, whether you're from the youth, whether you're a brother, whether you're a sister. There's questions that we should all be asking ourselves when we're thinking about Ramadan. What do we get out of fasting? What does fasting really mean? What does it really mean on a deeper level when you think about it and reflect on it? Not just what you read from the Islamic studies book or what your mom and dad told you sometimes here and there, if they stop to tell you what it means. But all of us should be thinking for ourselves, what does it mean? What do we get out of it? And so, from the first thing that I want to share with you is that fasting is about giving up halal things. Fasting is about what, Sheikh? Yes, sir. Giving up halal things. Most of us, we know you should give up haram things all of the time, but especially in the month of Ramadan, everybody's like, okay, if they used to listen to music in Ramadan, they stop. If they was doing the hookah, y'all know what a hookah is, right? Or the argila, they call it in Arabic, right? They'll stop in Ramadan. Or if they were smoking, they'll stop in Ramadan. If they were looking at things they shouldn't have been observing, everybody knows, haram, we know we should stop that, especially in the month of Ramadan. But Ramadan is also about giving up halal things. So, water, even though after playing basketball or sports or whatever, it tastes so good and you're so thirsty, in the month of Ramadan, you don't do that. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all remember back in the days, Hakeem Olajuwon, in the month of Ramadan, while he was fasting, he got MVP. I don't know if y'all know that. While he was fasting in the month of Ramadan. It's old school. Alhamdulillah. But at any rate, you give those things up in the month of Ramadan. Fruits, vegetables, anything, the food that you like, not being with your spouse, even though it's perfectly halal any other time. Even though you love her so much, or even though you love him so much during the month of Ramadan, during the time that you're fasting, you give up those things. You stop doing those things. you give them up. And why is that? Why do you give up those things? Because it's practice for you, for this self-discipline. If you can give up those things that are normally halal and okay for you, like when you're at school and you're in the hallway and nobody sees you. Nobody sees you at school. And then the water fountain is right there and you're real thirsty. And you look this way down the hallway and you look that way down the hallway and nobody's there. And you stop yourself from drinking the water. This is self-discipline. This is practice for you. Because I'm asking all of you, billah alayk, does your mom go out with you and stick next to you the whole Ramadan? Everywhere you go and she says, make sure you fasted. Make sure you don't eat. Make sure you don't drink. Is your dad with you the whole time when you're walking around and you go to the store and you go to school and you come home or you go to work? Are they with you saying, make sure that you're fasting? I'm asking you, Jama'ah. Sheikh, do they do that? Does your, I don't know, some of you, some parents, mashallah, they're with their, mashallah, their kids all the time, but for most of us, no. Is there a haram police for you to make sure that you're fasting? I'm asking you, ya Jama'ah. This is how I make sure you're not sleeping, or that I'm not putting you to sleep. Sheikh, is there anybody? There's nobody. There's no fasting police for you. So now you have practice for yourself, giving up things when nobody's looking at you. You have practice for things that any other time it's halal for you to have. It's practice for you to leave off those things that you know that they're haram. Because the other things, not only do you like them, not only do you enjoy them, they're halal for you. When you can leave those things off, it makes it that much easier for you to leave off haram things. And when we say haram things, leaving off, what we're talking about, brothers, is not simply about your mouth and your stomach. Because most of us, when we think of fasting, yes, we think about the other things that we hear about the mercy and the rahmah and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the actual fasting itself, we only think about eating, drinking, and the physical intimacy. But also, so with your mouth, right? And your stomach. But what it's really also about, not just that, even your eyes. That you fast with your eyes. That you don't look at things that you're not supposed to look at. Inappropriate things that might be on your phone. Or that might be on your tablet. Or it might be on your computer. Or it might be just walking down the street. Or it might just be walking down the hallway. That you lower your gaze. Because why? Because you're fasting not only with your mouth and your tongue and your stomach, but with your eyes. With your ears, you should be fasting. So that you're not listening to things that you shouldn't be listening to. Whether it's music, which you shouldn't be listening to anytime, but especially in the month of Ramadan. That you shouldn't even be sitting listening when somebody else is backbiting or making ghiba or namima, which, by the way, backbiting means to speak badly about someone behind their back or anything that they don't like, or making namima when they go back and forth and they cause enmity and problems between each other. You don't just sit there and be like, well, I'm not saying anything, and you just sit there and so don't say nothing. You be like, man, that's messed up what he said about him. Astaghfirullah. But you don't do anything. You just sit there and listen to it. You don't do that. You're fasting with your ears. You shouldn't even be listening to that. Does that make sense what I'm saying, y'all? Yeah, Jama'ah, you with me? Okay, alhamdulillah. So we said backbiting. Also with your tongue, you should be fasting. You shouldn't be lying. You shouldn't be cursing. Y'all ever see when go to the basketball court, even in Ramadan? I've been to the basketball court when brothers is fasting Ramadan, they still playing ball. And they're trying so hard to fast, not drinking, not eating, and they're on the court, but then let somebody get fouled. And they have the most foul, filthiest things come out of their mouth, the things that they say. And you know the crazy thing about it is, more often than not, it be the Muslims that have the most foul mouths. Go to Lifetime. Go to LA Fitness. Go to the YMCA and see how the Muslims be talking. And it be full of Muslims. You be like, mashallah, I came to ball and play with my brothers, and mashallah, alhamdulillah. And then subhanallah, you feel like there's more dhanbi and ma'asi and sins if you just stayed there with your Muslim brothers and sisters. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. But you're supposed to be fasting with your tongue. You ain't supposed to be swearing like that. You ain't supposed to be cussing like that. So that's the first thing, brothers and sisters, is that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us is not just fasting with our mouth and our tongue and our stomach. He wants all of you to be fasting. The whole, your complete self, you have to be fasting. And there's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فيما رواه إمام مسلم, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به والجهل فليس لله حاجة في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. The person who does not leave off qawl al-zur, and qawl al-zur is every statement that's haram, every statement that's muharram. If you don't leave that off, but you're fasting from food and drink, it's a waste of time. If you don't leave off wal amalu biz-zur, which means every haram action, if you don't leave them off, so you might be fasting from food and drink, but you're still watching something inappropriate. So are you really fasting then? You're not really fasting. You only gave Allah your stomach and your mouth, but Allah doesn't want just a piece or a portion. Allah wants all of you. Your mind, body, your heart, and your soul, everything. And then on top of that, it says, wal jahl, or wal jahl, which means to have animosity towards other people. So look at when you're fasting, even though fasting, nobody sees you fasting, right? So that's between you and who, Sheikh? Who's that between? You and Allah, because can't nobody see you fasting. But even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, haram statements, haram actions, wal jahla, which means to have animosity with other people. So even the way you treat other people in Ramadan is a part of your fasting. So now, subhanallah, it seems that much more important, and it seems that much more involving now for you to be fasting, that it's not just with your mouth and tongue and your stomach bus. Now that's the first thing, is that it's about leaving off halal things, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the fasting of your entire self. The second thing, ayyuhal ikhwa, is why do we do that? Why are we leaving off these things, these halal things, and even the haram things? The short answer, brothers and sisters, is because we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. Those people who believe, they have the most ardent of love and the firmest and strongest of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine, brothers and sisters, if you were walking out your house, you're walking out your house, and your mom stops you and tells you, go ahead and eat. And you'd be like, I'm late for school, I gotta go. And she'd be like, no, go ahead, sit down and eat. And you'd be like, but I got stuff I gotta do, come on, I'm not even really that hungry. And she said, I insist, sit down and eat. What you gonna do? If she doesn't leave you alone, what you gonna do? You be like, get up off me and just walk out the door? What you gonna do? You're gonna sit down and eat. Or if you were visiting your mom, you were visiting her, and wallahi, you just ate before you came. And she says, eat. And she puts the food on your plate. And she says, eat. And you say, wallahi, I just ate. And she says, no, you have to eat. And you say, but I'm full, wallahi. Even the adults, everybody would eat. Why would you do that? Even though you just ate, or you're late, or you're not even hungry. Why would you do that? Out of respect. Respect for who? out of respect and love for your mom, because of what she does for you, because she takes care of you, because when you were sick, she stayed up at night with you. Even when you weren't listening, even when you didn't do what she told you to do they say, oh, khalas, I'm not going to take care of him and not buy him clothes? Even when you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, do they be like, oh, khalas, I'm not going to feed him no more? Do they do that? They don't. Even when you're bad and you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing, they still feed you. And they don't even just feed you, they got to stand up and cook in the kitchen for you. Why? Because you're their children. They love you. And so you respect them and honor and love them. What? Because you love them. Because of what they do for you. Tell you, and who's given you more? And who's done more for you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has done so much for us, wallahi. Wallahi, just the fact that you're sitting here right now, brothers, safe and comfortable, with air conditioning, listening to me. What's happening with brothers and sisters in Ethiopia right now? What's happening with brothers and sisters in Somalia right now? What's happening with brothers and sisters in Yemen right now? In Syria, in Iraq? Wallahi, Allah has done, just for us right here. I'm not talking about the whole Muslim Ummah, just us right here. How much do you have to be thankful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We have so much to be thankful for. And so because of that, akhi, you're willing to give up water for 17, 18 hours. If it means I have to give up some orange juice, akhi, even though I feel like I can't even function without coffee in the morning, I'll give it up because I love Allah more than that. Wallahi, I love my wife, but I love Allah more, subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that means I can't be with my wife, khalas, because I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than that. You leave off these things because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we fast. You leave off those halal things and that they're permissible for you any other time of the day because you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than those things. And Ramadan is an opportunity for you to prove that you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we said the first one is a practice and an opportunity for you to what? To practice leaving off haram things. This other thing, the second thing here now is your opportunity to prove that you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I had something else. Two more things that I'll mention. Is what do we get out of it? Because taba'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's our creator, He's our sustainer. I ask all of you now, can Allah tell us what to do and then just not give us no reward? Does He have the right to do that, Kia? He has the right to do that. He's the creator of the heavens and the earth. He can do whatever He wants. We can't tell Allah, oh, I don't deserve this, or you should give me. We have no right. We are all servants and slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're all servants and slaves. He can do whatever He wants. But in spite of that, He still gives us more reward in life. He's so generous and kind to us and so loving to us. So the third thing is, what do we get out of Ramadan? And what do we get out of fasting? One of the things that we get, ayyuha al-ikhwa, is taqwa. The taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كما قال الله عز وجل يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. شيخ وليد. لعلكم تتقون. Oh, you who believe, fasting's been prescribed on you. It's written for you. You got to do it. And it was written for the people before you too, in hopes that you may become God-fearing people. And the word taqwa, ayyuha al-ikhwa, it's from the word wiqaya, which means a protection from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do you get protection from the punishment of Allah? You just buy a little Captain America shield? You get a big thick wall? Made out of steel? Is that how you get protection from the punishment of Allah? How do you get the protection from the punishment of Allah? Sheikh Wadi said, I only got like 2 minutes left. How do you do it? Naam, Sheikh. Stay away from the whisper of the shaitan when he encourages you to do haram things. Ijtinab an-nawahi, staying away from those things that are impermissible, brothers and sisters. That's one. And I think I heard a sister in the back say to do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded. These two things, this is taqwa. When you do these two things, you get protection from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you have taqwa, when you're somebody who is protected from the adhab of Allah, where is that person going? Huh? At least these 3-4 guys, they know, alhamdulillah. Jannah. But one of the first things that you get is taqwa. The other thing, ayyuha al-ikhwa, is that you get the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, "Inna Allah yuhibbul muttaqeen." Those people who have taqwa, Allah loves those people. And again, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, and He's mentioning your name with the angels, where's that person going? Insha'Allah, to Jannah. Alhamdulillah, again, at least these guys, they know. You get the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you, ayyuha al-ikhwa, bil munasaba, which is appropriate to, what was the title of this event here, brother? The youth kickoff, youth empowerment. That's what it's about, right? MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So the last thing that I wanted to share with you, ayyuha al-ikhwa, wal akhawat, my beloved brothers and sisters, is that the month of Ramadan is a tremendous opportunity to be a catalyst for change. Now, the brother Waleed, he mentioned that this is your masjid. No offense, I love you for the sake of Allah, but I disagree. In reality, no matter whose name is on the deed, no matter who paid the money, no matter who built it, who is this house for? Who does it belong to? It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And every single masjid in the Twin Cities and in the metro area belongs to who? And every masjid in the world belongs to who? The Kaaba, Masjid al-Nabawi, all of them, they belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you are the caretakers of the masjid. You are the brothers and sisters who are going to be the ones to clean the masjid. You are the brothers and sisters who pay the bills for the masjid. There is no Wizarat al-Islamiyya wa Shu'un al-Islamiyya. We don't have, a Ministry of Islamic Affairs wa Wizarat al-Da'wa wal-Irshad. There is no Ministry of Da'wah and Guidance. There is none. There's only you brothers and sisters. Every time there was a fundraiser, did Bush come and pay the bills here? Or Obama? Or Trump? Every time there was a fundraiser here, it came from your pockets. But it was what? For the caretaking of the house of Allah. Never ever let it enter into your mind that this is your masjid. This is the house of Allah. You are a guest in the house of Allah. Even me, even though I'm the guy sitting in the front, even though I'm the one speaking and I got the mic, I'm a guest in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have that mentality, when you come in the masjid, it's an entirely different walk to you, and the way that you carry yourself, and the way you treat other people. And Ramadan is a wonderful reminder for all of us, wallahi. It's a wonderful opportunity to remind us that this is the house of Allah, and that you have a wonderful opportunity to be a part of change and good in this masjid. Didn't this masjid open last time in Ramadan last year? It opened in the month of Ramadan, yes? And now it's the month of Ramadan. That's been a year now, right? Almost a year now. And look how much has changed in this place. But now it's time for young brothers and sisters like yourselves to be in this masjid, to do your part, to lend your aid, to give your expertise, your energy, and your time. Those who take care of the masjid, wallahi, we make dua for them. The ones who helped to build this masjid, wallahi, we make dua for them. Because they did all the work while you were at home, and maybe you gave $10, $15, even $100. They were over there thinking about who they got to pay, which bill they got to fix, and go to the city and talking all that. None of us young people did that, wallahi. All of us are indebted to any of those elders who did that. We are indebted to them. I didn't buy a masjid. You ever bought a masjid, Waleed? You ever bought a masjid, Kia? Y'all brothers ever bought a masjid? None of us ever have. You're only sitting on this nice carpet because of some older people that came before you who put their blood, sweat, and tears into having a place like this for you. But it's not. But they ain't gonna live forever. Kullu nafsin dha'ikatul maut. They're not gonna live forever. I'm sorry. right? La qaddar Allah, may Allah protect them and preserve them, but they're going to go sometime, wallahi. And then who's going to step up? Naam? At least this brother, inshallah. MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, akhi, and give you a high place in Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to drink from the hawd of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And all of us as well. Allahumma ameen. But the month of Ramadan is a tremendous opportunity for that. Because when you're hungry, wallahi, and you know when you're thirsty, it's a lot more difficult to be arrogant. And it's a lot easier to think and reflect on the things that are really important and that are priority. And of course, this place is a priority. Why? Because it's not your house and it's not my house. It's the house of who, ya jama'ah? It's the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and somebody's got to take care of it. And I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us here, and that He bless all of you here to be beacons of light, calling to Islam, and calling to the book of Allah, and calling to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and with the understanding of the Salaf. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of you, and to give you strong Islamic identities, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you all proud Muslims, for you, and not only for you, but for your children, and for your children's children, and for all the generations to come. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with knowledge that is beneficial, and that He protect us all from knowledge that is not beneficial, and that He benefit us by the knowledge He's already given us. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us hearts that are humble and have humility. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this masjid and everyone who is in it. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to allow this house and this place to flourish and to grow and to be a beacon to the entire Twin Cities and to all of the entire Muslim Ummah. Allahumma ameen. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. If there's anything that I said that was good, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And any shortcomings that I have, anything I might have said that was wrong, it's from myself and the shaitan and from my shortcomings. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma musta'an. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Sheikh Ilyas, and inshallah all of us, when we're making dua, to also remember our shuyukh and also each other in our dua, inshallah. The next thing that we're going to be doing, you guys have been doing a lot of listening, so we're going to let you guys do the talking this time. So we'll do a little quick icebreaker for about 15-20 minutes. How the game works is we're going to group all the boys and all the girls into 4 different groups. And then within that group, you'll introduce yourself, meaning your name, what school you go to, what you're pursuing or what you're thinking about doing in terms of when you get to college or in life, and also something interesting about yourself. Once you do that, you'll talk amongst the group, within the 4 groups, something that is missing from this masjid that you can think of, and also coming up with a solution to that problem. So inshallah, we'll go around a number, both the girls and the sisters, inshallah, the boys and the girls, inshallah, 1 through 4, and then we'll go that way and split, inshallah, for about the next 10-15 minutes. All right? Assalamu alaikum.
We will not be recording the discussion, so don't feel like you're being watched or anything of the sort. Just be yourself.
محمد رسول الله
يا الله انتهانسي كوفا قفتان خلق كوني إسلام مالي بابانا وقرسيس نسيديني كاننا قلبي فردو يا أبوليت يا خيرا كوني كيني قدان الرنفة ميجرا حواسني المان كان كيتا إيقاتا جرا يوت المان كوبيسي تدين الرتيريرا أمتا قرد بي المان كيتو جيجيرا سنة رسولة تريرا تلنجي فناني إسلام ماني فبانان وقرسيس نسيديني فاقسنا هبادو يا أبوليتي ديرا ملكي ربين سيفكا يكونو حركا كيجيرا قبضي رديم نانكرا نبي ديرا قبسيتو الماني يا هادا دربا ديرا المان كي كاروماتي ببافتي الرهيريرا أواساتي قتا جيرا مناقر تلفمناني إسلام ماني فبانان وقرسيس نسيديني